Chicago Bears fans? Welcome to the Bears Den podcast. I'm Andy, joined by Todd, and joined by Chicago Clarence. So, guys, how has everybody's week been?
My week's been quiet, so that's a good thing.
Clarence, how has yours been?
Well, you know what? It's been work, but I don't think I would have it any other way. I'm just blessed to have a job. And one that I particularly like.
That's good.
It helps.
Yes,
Yeah.
It does help. So, guys, we thought we'd do something a little fun today, and we would look at Ryan Pace versus Ryan Poles, the first 3 years of each one's, I guess, job or acquisitions or what they did as general managers.
Right.
So I'm going to bring something up on the screen. You guys look at it for a few seconds, and you share your comments. So here is the first free agency class for each guy. And guys, while you're looking at this, please remember to like us, follow us, subscribe to us on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. So guys, looking at this, I'll go in alphabetical order by your first name. Clarence, what are your thoughts on that one?
Well, I think that with the list, especially with Ryan Poles, he was just trying to fill out a roster.
Yeah.
We were at that time, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but we were kind of up against the cap.
Yes, we were.
And we had to make some decisions and make some cuts, and so we had to sign a bunch of people to 1-year contracts to fill out a team.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, Ryan Poles did what he had to do to fill out a team the first year.
Ryan Pace, I remember Pernell McPhee being a big signing because at that time, we needed a linebacker.
Yeah.
I think that was one of our glaring weaknesses, and at the time, you know, McPhee was a good signing when it first came about.
He was.
You know, and that was before all the injuries hit. You know, I don't really think that we ever got our money's worth out of him overall. If you look at what his state ended up being in Chicago, but at the time of the signing, I thought that it was a good pickup.
All right, guys. So this is why the list on the right side was so long. Tell me Ryan Pace does not belong in jail for this. This is why that team, we had to sign those guys to 1-year contracts. We had to pay a $56 million debt because of his moves. That's who we had to pay Ryan Poles' first year, and they weren't even on the team. So, Todd, I'll give this one to you. What are your thoughts on that list?
Well, you know, I mean, the biggest thing there is Khalil Mack, and you know, I was excited when they made the trade for Mack. We were a solid team. We thought we had it. We thought we might have a quarterback, and we, you know, like I said, we had just dealt with the double doink, I believe, and so we still felt like we were right there. You know, some of the other, like Nick Foles, and some of those were pretty costly and foolish, and I think Andy there.
Nick
so we're paying
Foles.
a lot of back still there, but you know, that's the old school of. There's a couple of ways to play the money in the cap. You could do with like the Saints or the Dolphins, and you're just leveraging everything, and you eventually have to gut it and go down and have bad years. You know, Ryan Poles coming from Kansas City, they try to avoid that. I mean, you know, they lose a player occasionally. I can't remember the defensive back that was the big deal that they had to let go this year because they had to make a decision on, you know, priorities on signing. But he was all of a sudden the greatest corner in the world, and they ended up having to give him away. But that was to keep, you know, the defensive lineman that they needed to keep, and they had, you know, they structured the Mahomes deal in a way to stay relevant. I think that's you know I'm pretty sure that's the way that Poles wants to run this team. So Pace came from New Orleans, and so they, you know, that's how they ran business. They would extend everything as far as they could. You know, they could re-sign players or take money from players and carry it down the road. Rework deals all the time, and we're not to the position where we're going to have to do that. We'll probably have to do some of that because every team does some of that. but it's not very responsible. And so that put Poles in the position he was in now. What Pace did doing that is we had to, make the decision to to trade Roquan, and part ways with Khalil Mack, and then there's another good $20 million there besides that with all those other guys combined. Just bad decisions, poor drafting, that kind of thing. And so, the teardown process is always bad for the first couple of years, but now we're on the backside of that, right? So now we're still trying to do it, in a way that's somewhat, financially responsible. So and a lot of the Keenan Allen thing will kind of determine some of that too, and see how he plays and what happens there. But that's the decision that we'll have to make. But this time last year, we were just thinking about re-signing the wide receiver, the Canada guy. I can't remember his name anymore, the old Steeler, So, and we're talking about signing Darnell Mooney, and we didn't do either of those things, right? Because that was the responsible thing to do, is to let both those guys go. One, because he's enough. The other, because he just,
Chicago Clarence, you got anything to add to that?
Well, that list is, it don't really tell the whole story.
No, it doesn't.
Khalil Mack and those signings, that was supposed to be adding to a team that was supposed to make playoff runs and be Super Bowl contenders. Right. And the Khalil Mack, you guys remind me, what did we pay? And that trade was significant.
It's 2 ones. That's the thing that hurt.
2 first rounders. That's coming up later. Yeah. It's 2 first rounders.
But I would be remiss to not bring up what I want to bring up. And the reason why, we look at that list versus what Poles did is because Pace was trying to build a Super Bowl team.
He was.
And particularly on defense. We had a championship defense.
Yes, we did.
And I give him credit because he wasn't afraid to go out and make moves and make decisions to make the team better. And, he put us in salary cap purgatory, but I don't think nobody could argue that we had a good roster. We
did.
He just didn't, when it came to coaching, I don't think he picked the right guy.
Right. You have to do everything right if you're going to actually win.
The other thing that that I'm gonna bring, I'll wait till we bring that up later because I'm gonna lose it when we start talking about that.
Is it the one where the table almost got overturned?
Exactly.
Okay, so guys, here's the next little slide. This is our first draft class for each guy. And guys, if you're watching this show, please follow us on whatever social media platform you're watching us from.
Okay, so this draft class, Kevin White, once again, was a bona fide good pick.
He was.
We had a need at wide receiver. You just sometimes you don't have a crystal ball. You don't know what people are going to do when they start getting that NFL paycheck. And this guy just could not stay healthy. The talent was there. You talk about speed. You talk about size, the ability to get open, the ability to break tackles. He did all of that in West Virginia. But the moment he got into Chicago, we didn't see any of that. We saw flashes here and there, but the guy just could not stay healthy.
Yeah, I agree. I love Kevin White at West Virginia. I thought, man, we got a stud wide receiver.
He was a 1-year guy though. That was the difference in why Cooper went as Amari Cooper. I think went 4, and I think we took White at 6. And he was a 1-year producer, and that was and that's going to go back to Mitch, a thing that didn't seem to bother Ryan Pace. That the lack of long-term production, it wasn't a hot button for him. And I mean, I'm not saying I think White would have been fine. It's just that's an injury thing, but also So when Trubisky pick came down, it's like, well, that kind of foreshadows that doesn't bother him. Although you might pull that off at certain positions where he was a 1-year superstar, but not a quarterback.
All right, guys. The next slideshow. This is year 2 free agent signings.
Yeah. Okay, so we got Massey because he was supposed to be. He was going to plug a big hole on the offensive line. Akeem Hicks,
fantastic
signing.
For the most part, he gave us I mean, he had injury concerns too, but
Trevathan was a producer, man.
Yes,
both of them got hurt, but Trevathan got hurt a lot. He missed a lot of games.
Yeah, Akeem Hicks is an excellent signing by Pace.
Can you put that list back up, Andy, please?
He was an afterthought, really. Let's see if this is it.
Yeah.
And so then when you look at what Poles did,
yes,
Edwards and Edmonds are studs.
Yes.
Nate Davis, the jury is out.
Yeah, it's his last year.
Yeah.
PJ Walker didn't pan out.
PJ Walker, that was a bad sighting.
I thought Dante Foreman was a great pick. I just thought I don't understand the way we used him.
Everybody lets him go. I don't know what the deal is.
He's a 1-year signing for every single team.
Yeah.
People are saying he's bad in the locker room, though, and if that's the case, then that would explain everything. But from what I've been hearing, he's bad in the locker room everywhere he goes.
Yeah, because he does a 1-year almost minimum deal every year, and he produces. I mean, he's a solid back.
Yeah, he was very solid.
And Andrew Billings is a solid defensive tackle. He's a run stopper. He doesn't help in the pass rush, but he's a run stopper. Occupies space. That was an excellent signing, and we gave him an extension.
I would definitely give him an A- for this free agent class. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the $10 million to PJ Walker hurts a little bit.
Oh no, we feel that. I mean, that's nothing, but $10 million is $10 million.
No, I know.
Yeah,
but he didn't even make the team. So I mean, he got cut in camp. So anyway,
all right, guys. Next one. Here is our draft class of year 2. And guys, if you are watching this show, please follow us on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Please show us some love.
So leave this up for a minute. Braverman was supposed to be a wide receiver, speed, who can
but he's a
play special teams. And he didn't pan out. Jordan Howard became our starting running back. Kwiatkowski, I think, is somebody that we wish we would have held on to.
Yeah, and Bush played for
Whitehair ended up getting 2 contracts. And Leonard Floyd, we gave up on him. He went elsewhere and won a Super Bowl ring.
Jonathan Bullard, he was a big deal coming out of Florida. He should have.
He didn't pan out. And then on this side, I think we got our franchise right tackle.
Right.
Yeah.
Javon Dexter out. The jury's still out on him.
Yeah.
Tyreek Stevenson is a starter. Going to be long term. Tyler Scott, he's got to show that he can catch the ball. Noah Sewell is going to get his opportunity.
I think he should. I think he should be just a designated pass rusher now.
Well, I mean, but he's playing weak side linebacker.
Yeah, but he's doing. I think they want to use him just to rush the passer. If he's like a 5-6 sack guy, just a DPR guy, he needs to put on a little weight. But I think he can be all right.
And Roschon Johnson, I don't know about you guys. I don't feel like he's really been given a fair opportunity.
No, I don't either.
No, he's, just because of Herbert's situation, he's a free agent next year. I mean, I think Johnson's is RB2. I really do.
Yes. And they're still really high on Terrell Smith as a
he's back. That was a good pick.
They love him.
He didn't make the roster, but he looked pretty good at nose tackle in preseason. But that don't really mean nothing.
And the most important name on this list to me, the most important this year is Zach Pickens. He has to step up. Yeah. He has to provide us depth. He needs to start ascending like Dexter did last year. He needs to start that upward slope and start ascending. I mean, he needs to show us something.
Dexter needs to show a little more too.
Yes,
I'm definitely with that.
There. Both of those guys have to produce this year.
I agree with that 100%. Let's bring up the next slideshow. This free agent class, year 3.
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
It's misses all over the place. The fact that we gave Mike Glennon the money that we gave him to come in and told him right off the bat he was going to be a starter. It still escapes me. The decision making that went into that.
He played 2-3 seasons at decent number 2 cornerback.
Yeah, he was decent. He was. He made some plays.
Okay. I didn't even know we signed Quentin Demps, and he was supposed to be number 1 corner.
Yeah,
really.
Like, he never panned out.
Yeah,
I had to look that up to make sure that was right when I did research for this show.
No, I didn't even know that.
I don't even remember that signing. Deion Sims, I remember he had like hands of stone.
And we can't really say anything about this class for Poles because they ain't played yet.
Right.
Byard was a need, and I don't know if he's a 1-year guy. He might be. I'm sure they can get out of that deal. They'll have to draft safety fairly early, I would think, unless he plays well, and then I can, put another year there.
If he tackles, that's a huge upgrade.
I think that Jonathan Owens could be an interesting.
I do too.
Third, fourth safety. But he didn't make it in Green Bay, and they desperately needed DB, so that's a little concern. But Gerald Everett is the sneaky good signing on this list.
Oh, he is.
Yes,
and Brett Ripken is just a coach. That's all he is.
Yeah,
the coach is brought in to help the quarterbacks learn the system, the routes, the language. That's all he is.
He should be the
third quarterback.
You don't dress the third quarterback. Use that spot thing. So he probably won't even dress much. And Shelton could be the starter. We'll see.
The way things are going, he could be the center, and Bates could be the other guard. Nate Davis don't get it in gear.
Nate Davis definitely. I mean, but
he'll miss time.
I feel like Nate Davis been stealing money so far. He's been stealing money.
And the kid they drafted, is going to step in and be that third or fourth guard probably.
Yeah. The kid
from Yale. I think Davis is done. I don't. They can get out after this year, and I think they will. I mean, he's not overpaid because now the prices have gone up so high, but still, there won't be a roster spot for him if he's not going to practice and play hard. There won't be a spot.
Okay, Todd, we may want to leave the room. This is where a table could go over, and it jumps out to me because both guys in year 3 drafted what they hope and prayed would be the franchise quarterback. I thought that was interesting. I was doing research that both guys swung on a franchise quarterback on their 3rd year of employment, 3rd year of being a general manager.
One was hyped a little more than the other one, though.
Yes. Yes, but I mean, he's still – I don't even want to go into what he gave up to get Trubisky because – the table or death, wherever Clarence is sitting, maybe go over.
We didn't give up anything for Williams, so thank you.
No, we got a surplus of talents, and we got Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Surplus of draft picks.
Yep.
Well, Ryan Poles set himself up to have this draft class right here.
Yes,
he did.
He had some luck involved, but he made the moves and he put it out there, and everything just fell his way. But this this draft pick, what Ryan Pace did was absolute asinine, and I still say it was the worst draft day decision in the history of the NFL to give away 4 picks to move up 1 spot to draft a guy who was going to be there anyway. And for what information, what went through those dummies' heads when they was in that dang room deciding about what they was going to do, how they was going to go about doing it. I would have loved to have been in there to call each and every one of them stupid as they was making these decisions.
Yeah,
because when it went down, I knew it. You don't make those kind of decisions the guy with 11 starts under his belt, playing for a team that was middle of the road in their conference, and they couldn't even make it to the championship game in their conference. They didn't even sniff the BCS bowls. And you're telling me that this guy was better than the guy who played in the two previous national championship games and was the best player on the team, on the field, both years?
Right.
We don't even interview him?
No. But we sent 26 guys to Clemson for pro day.
You know what I think? What Ryan Pace's main undoing was the drafting of Trubisky. He thought he was getting a franchise quarterback, and he didn't. And it like we always say, if you miss on the quarterback, it's going to set you back a couple of years. And that's
he thought example. that, but on what information was that based on?
I don't know. I would love to sit down with that scouting department and go to dinner.
Please make me understand what went into that decision making.
Yeah, I would love to
watching
sit down
the
with
games
them.
like everybody else, like all of us. There's no way you come to that conclusion.
I mean, I think that, just looking at this, you have to have some arrogance about you to be a GM to think you could actually pull this off. But I mean, you look at that. You got a 1-year starter Trubisky, and I defer to Clarence on that. I don't watch UNC football, and he does. I know he watches all of them. So, but I mean, and then to back that up with Adam Shaheen,
and we could have drafted Kittle, who was still on the board.
It's like, I mean, hindsight.
But wait a minute. Did we not trade up to get Shaheen?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, and I mean, was he playing Division III ball? I mean, yeah, every time he touched the ball, he was getting a touchdown then, but he towered over everybody, and I don't know. I don't think he's in the league. I know he spent some time in Miami, but that whole thing just screamed. I mean, we got lucky on Eddie Jackson. He had a broken arm and he fell down the draft boards. We got real lucky there. And Cohen was a fun player, but
I got to see that kid play against Charlotte against the 49ers. North Carolina A&T. He ran all up and down that field on the 49ers. I thought to myself, who is that little guy? And they beat the 49ers. Like North Carolina A&T beat the 49ers that day. I mean, he just went off. They could not tackle him or stop him. He just went off.
He's in Jets camp, isn't he? I think he is. I think I seen that the other day.
I mean, I'm hoping the kid.
I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting
for
him
too.
If it's anybody who deserves a chance after what he's been through, because he's always put the work in. You can't say that. But man, when you start looking at some of the things that's happening in his personal life, his twin brother losing his life, at an electrical fence, for God's sake.
Yeah.
It's just certain people that you root for. But I tell you what, Ryan Pace is not one of those people I root for. Not one.
I mean, during that whole Pace range, I mean, he's going to come out as one of the more popular players from any of those Bear teams while Pace was there. Cohen is, for sure. I mean, everybody liked that guy.
All right, guys. Here's a list of some Ryan Pace trades. Now, this is not every single one. This is a good majority. The draft day trades, when they trade a 5 for a 4 to move up a spot, I don't have that in there, but these are some of the trades that Ryan Pace made coming and going.
Yeah, I mean, the Martellus Bennett thing, he probably should have been on that team, and you wouldn't have made that Shaheen pick. He was a solid tight end. Jared Allen was too old when we got him. I'm surprised we got anything for him. The 2 first-rounders for Khalil Mack, but that was just, your go for it mode. They gave away Jordan Howard for a 6, but he couldn't catch the ball. So actually, we got something for Shaheen. Well, that's good to see.
Yes.
Anthony Miller pick hurts. He was a high second-round pick.
Yes, I believe we traded up for him.
We did.
Yeah. Well, he loved to trade up. He fell in love with players, and he loved to trade up for them.
But giving up what we gave up for Khalil Mack, to be in the mode that we're going for, had you not been so freaking stupid and picked up the wrong quarterback, for all intents and purposes, we could have had Deshaun Watson on that team, and no one is going to convince me that Deshaun Watson's on that team. We're not in the Super Bowl. We had the defense.
somebody from scouting was saying it was either Mitch or it was going to be Mahomes. That they never, and they didn't interview him, so I guess that's probably true that they were never in on Watson. But I mean, they weren't going to take. I mean, Kansas City traded up to 10 for Mahomes, and that was shocking. Like they thought he'd fall to the end of the first round.
Well, the draft experts had us taking Mahomes, but the only person that we really even did any work on was Mitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He zeroed in on Mitch for some reason. Just had to have that man.
I would love to know why.
So
if
guys,
if I see him in the street, I'm asking him that question. Why?
Hindsight being 2020, we traded 2 firsts for Khalil Mack. Did we get our bang for a buck on that one? Because all we really got in my mind was a double doink first round playoff loss. That's all we got. We didn't have a winning record since then.
We didn't because we picked the wrong quarterback. That defense had us in games. You can't keep sending the defense out there and your offense is going 3 and out. The defense did their job. Had we picked the right quarterback, had we picked a better head coach who wasn't so damn maniacal and arrogant and made the decisions that he made on offense and ran an offense and somebody who can actually perform and conduct it, then the Khalil Mack trade would have paid off. We got the dividends out of it.
So you say no, Clarence? We didn't get bang for our buck on that one?
But it ain't Khalil Mack's fault.
No, I agree 100%. It was not his fault. But I'd say we did not.
I think Fangio going to Denver affected it a little bit too.
Oh, yeah. Losing him was huge.
But Fangio was there when we lost the playoff game.
Yeah, he was.
I know. But that wasn't the defense's fault.
Exactly.
No,
it wasn't a defense that threw the ball 15 yards over Anthony Miller's head on a damn seam route when he was wide open.
Mitch would miss by a lot when he missed. I mean, it was embarrassing. Yeah.
So here's the our last one. This is Ryan Poles trades. Again, it's not every single trade. There's one missing. You probably know which one it is. I mean, he missed on Claypool, but
you're gonna have badly. He missed badly.
And that hurt. That was
it hurt because we gave up a second to get him.
Yeah, that was Joey Porter Jr. to the Steelers is what that pick was.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that really hurts.
Yeah, every general manager is going to have misses. In every sport,
for sure.
It's just you want the hits to outweigh the misses.
The funny Robert Quinn comes off of an 18.5 sack season and takes the record for the franchise, and just literally does nothing for the Eagles.
No, but he got to go to a Super Bowl at least.
Yeah, well, but he had nothing to do with that. Yeah. For what they're getting for players now.
You?
Well, the only thing is what we already said. Acquiring Chase Claypool for a second-round pick, that hurt. We felt that.
Yeah. Yeah, but the Packers were trying to get – there were several teams in the running for Claypool, and he just – I don't know.
We should have let him. We got in it to win.
Yeah.
And we paid a high price for it. And it cost us.
Right. Our pick was going to be higher. That's the reason that we got him.
That's the reason why they chose us.
Yeah. So guys,
if he'd have gone to Green Bay, he'd be a Pro Bowler right now.
So guys, the one trade that's missing. So does Ryan Poles deserve to be in jail for this one? What we did to Carolina? Does he deserve to go to jail? And we still have a second rounder coming.
Yeah.
So does that man deserve to go to jail for what we did to the Carolina Panthers?
That's Tepper's fault, I think. I honestly do. Until they can solve that problem, they're just going nowhere. But we don't talk about them. So I mean, they've been raving about that punter, man, just dropping the ball at the 2 or 3 yard line just routinely. Maybe. I mean, I was a little shocked by it, but
Williams said that he ain't gonna be punting much anyway.
Yeah,
good. That's what I want to hear out of my friends. Hopefully, our franchise quarterback. But I mean, does Ryan Poles deserve to go to jail for that trade?
Yeah,
he's still paying off. And if Caleb Williams becomes a franchise quarterback, this is like the greatest trade maybe of all time.
I was a little upset that we went all the way back to 9 initially on it, but it's worked out pretty
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to get championships though. It's got to pay off in that way.
No, it
Yes.
does.
He's got to get championships.
Yeah, because I mean, there's one pick left. That's the second rounder this year. That's it, and it's done. I think so.
Yeah, just the
Yeah.
second rounder.
So let me ask you guys something. So right here, we did a 9 for a 10. We could have drafted Jalen Carter at 9,
Yeah.
but we decided not to, and we drafted Darnell Wright. In hindsight, do you guys agree or disagree with that move?
You can't disagree when you get a starter, a long-term starter
Yeah.
out of the deal. You can't disagree with that, especially when it's out of the tackle position, whether it's the left tackle or the right tackle. In this case, it's the right tackle. There's no way you can say that we picked the wrong guy when you got, like I said, a long-term starter.
Yeah.
Carter has flashed. He looks like he can be great, but I'm telling you, just that story is not going to be written for 5 or 6 years, 7 years. Don't know what's going to happen with that guy.
So guys,
I hope he's great. I hope he is. I'm not
guys,
wishing ill on anybody, but
so to put a cap on the show, who do you say has had the better 3-year run as a general manager, Pace or Poles?
Well, Pace is going to always be mired with his decision because the more success that Patrick Mahomes has, it's going to always put that cloud over Pace that we could have had him.
Yeah.
And no one knew that Mahomes was going to be an all-time great. That's the reason why I keep bringing up Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson was he had the better college career out of the three.
And he was great.
He was a no-brainer. And I still say, I'm not even talking about Patrick Mahomes, but you put Deshaun Watson on that team with that defense we had, and it's lights out. But let's not forget who our coach was.
Yeah.
We talk about Andy Reid versus Matt Nagy, and Matt Nagy works under Matt Reid. Andy Reid. So Matt Nagy was a bad decision. Everything has got to work. You got to get the right quarterback. You got to get the right cast around it, but you also got to hire the right coach. Coaching matters. We see that every time we play Green Bay, we are reminded that coaching matters.
Yeah, I'm not still sold completely. Eberflus looked better at the second half of the season.
He did,
but we have this talent, and if we make a move on a coach, we can pretty much go get whoever we want, right? Because they're going to run.
Listen, we already don't have a show on this. It better pan out because the guy we wanted is down there in San Diego.
Well,
I don't want to hear this after the end of this year.
There's other guys, and they'll come.
Who are we going to get that's better than what Harbaugh's resume?
Whoever's on the top of the list, if we have an opening, they're gonna want to come here. Just based on Caleb, honestly.
Yeah, you rewind the clock back though, because coaches are tired of coming back.
You lose time. No, you lose time. And I don't know about this Waldron thing. Everybody's pretty happy with it, but they made a wholesale change in Seattle, so maybe that he just got caught up in that. We'll see how it is. It's.
Yeah, they wanted to talk to him. So that was a good sign. They wasn't glad he left town, so I can dig it.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I can't wait to see what this Waldron offense looks like and what he's going to do with these receivers. With that being said, it's time for our segment of the show where we find out what Chicago Clarence is pissed off about this week that he could end up going to the doctor and getting prescribed blood pressure medicine. So, Chicago Clarence, take it away.
Well, guys, this week, we all live in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes, we do.
And the tension that gets my ire this week is the Carolina Panthers wanting to use public money to help fund them a new stadium, something to the tune of $850 million. And the reason why this bothers me is because their owner is one of the richest, if not the richest owner in the NFL. He's worth over $20 billion. But somehow he can't get enough money to pay for it himself. And he wants the public to help him fund a stadium. And what do we get out of it? Well, he says to be able to keep the team in Charlotte. So,
bye.
And that's what I'm saying. You're going to try to hold us hostage with a team that looks as bad as this team looks on the field? You're firing coaches after 10, 11 games, not even giving them full seasons, and you want us to help you pay for renovations. You should be building a new stadium anyway. But you want to renovate a stadium that just got renovated 3 years ago. And now you want the public to help you pay for it? $850 million when you're worth $20 billion? I don't get it. And what bothers me most is these NFL owners. They literally print money because the collective bargaining and the TV money is so great. Not even counting of the merchandising money that they make or the money that they're getting off of ticket sales. But the money that they make from TV deals is so vast that a team as low as Chicago Bears, as poor as they are all billionaires.
Yeah.
So why all the time do we always have these situations where these owners are trying to handcuff or hold the city hostage to build them a stadium, to help build a stadium, and we got to pay $20 to park. We're paying $20 for a cup of beer, $10 for a hot dog. I don't even know what the ticket prices are because I don't go to games. But all of that wrapped up into one, and you want our help to help you pay for a team that sucks as bad as the Carolina Panthers do? I don't even care if they were the Kansas City Chiefs. You're worth $20 billion. Pay for your own stadium.
Yeah. It's hard to say. It's hard to say much about Tepper when we had the McCaskies as owners, but I got to say he has to be the worst owner in the NFL right now. I mean, thank God there's not a salary cap on coaches and general managers because he would be against it. He's paying. I would have to look it up to see how many he's paying right now because he fires everybody. He has no.
Matt Rule is still getting paid, and he's a college coach right
still
now.
Getting paid, right?
Definitely. Frank Wright didn't last a full season. He gave him a 4-year deal.
Who were the GMs when those two coaches were fired?
Like is Rivera still getting paid?
He's paying so many people that it's ridiculous. Like, at least the Bears have a tradition of we don't fire our coach at the end of the year. We're going to ride it out.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
but whatever.
It's a good thing that we have that because we keep hiring the wrong coach.
Yeah, yeah.
We do that.
Yeah, I mean, all of us live in Charlotte. We all have friends that are Panthers fans and coworkers that are Panthers fans, and I gotta say, none of them are saying anything good about this regime in Charlotte right now.
But nobody is. They're going to have crowds. They still.
They got a loyal following, which is the reason why
really
it bothers me. It bothers me that you would sit there and say, "Oh well, if we don't get them to help us pay for the stadium, we're going to move the team." How in the world you can even say that?
To Oakland? Where they going to move to?
Well, factually, he's not right anyway because the owners have to vote on that, and they're not going to pull a team out of this market.
No. He's just.
Negotiating.
He'll probably get public funding because everybody always caves and gives these owners what they want. He might not get all of it, but he'll get a large chunk of it.
Shame on you.
Yeah.
You're worth $20 billion. Shame on you.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, guys, it was fun. It was real. It was real fun. I'll see you next time. Bear down.
Andy, have fun in Chicago.
I will.
Yeah, have fun. Yeah, go Cubs.
Yes, I hope to get a win. Thank you.
Bring us something back.
What do you want? What do you want?
You know Bear what I want. You know, something Bear. Don't bring me nothing with Cubs on it.
It's hard to find Brave stuff there. All right, guys. Next time. I'll see you.